the blue, 0-1 Esports in the orange, the Senbei Strikers. Let's get over to Achieves and Company in the Verizon Skybox.
Thank you very much, Waypunk. I find myself in very pleasant company. It's Turtle. Glad to be back with you here in the booth. And both of these teams have played some difficult matchups, but in general, they've shown that they have some things to hold on to. A lot of the times for me looking at Senbei, they do have a lot of great defensive structure, like against Optic. You got to see a little bit of the offense yesterday, whereas 0-1, they've had some good matches as well.
Yeah, and they played off against, obviously, KC, the Gladiators, and then ultimately losing as well against Dignitas. And that was a close series. I think that 0-1 Esports really put on display within the first 2 games what they were capable of. Early goals in game 1 versus Dignitas, they implemented a lot of bumps. Ended up taking out the goalkeeper several times. They got the first goal in game 2, so early starts are a huge thing for 0-1 Esports, as we look into getting into this series versus Senbei Strikers. I think that early start has to come out. You give Senbei Strikers any momentum, you never know what that man Realize could pull out. Yeah,
I think Johnny was definitely onto something at the same time, though, when talking about 0-1. Senbei don't have that good start. They find themselves behind quickly or struggling to get ground. They could definitely get out-pressured by 0-1. And at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a very pendulum swing type of game where you have a really good game for 0-1 and then the next one a really good game for Senbei. I would definitely believe that coming to fruition here as well, as 0-1 pressing a little bit here in the corner. See how Senbei react. That's a big miss. Mawson will collect. The first one goes to Mina.
And this is a free one for Mawson. You can see off the backboard, Tenhao was looking for any touch. Couldn't find it. Right across the goal line, Mawson was there to clean up.
And I think Sig probably thought he could reach it and then just realized too late that that's actually going a little too quick.
That's going to right.
Can't actually get there. It looked a lot worse than it actually was on the replay. So, tough break for Senbei, just caught a little bit out of position. Have to work from behind here.
Right. We do have a long series, a best of 7, but a lot on the line for both teams. You win this series, you won't qualify for the group stage, but your record will obviously improve. Meanwhile, for the other team, you will be eliminated. So no more competing in the World Championship, and that's where the nerves can kick in whenever we get longer and more down the line in this series.
A lot of pressure here for Senbei as AMS would delay a push potentially, as Zazonix actually great control in the midfield as well. Pulling up 2 people from Senbei means Realize doesn't have a lot of support pushing here. Was going for the big block. One-on-one, throws it off the wall. Do they have the third? And that one's unfortunately too high. They had the press. Thankfully, Realize is rotated back around and they find the tie.
I am so impressed with Senbei Strikers. There were a couple of shots here where you're thinking this one's going to go to the back of the net, but instead opting to go off the backboard, setting up an easier shot each time that ball does hit the backboard, and you got to clean up. Senbei Strikers equalizing.
Not the first time we've seen them pick apart an open backboard in this tournament.
Yeah.
I was questioning the second throw off the wall as well, and then you look at it on the replay and you say, yeah, there's a lot of people in net. Throwing it up there one more time is not a bad idea. Big save from Realize, going to bail Tenhao out of a jam, who got caught up on his own post. Realize off the ceiling, no boost, and we're really just trying to keep this one in the blue half.
If we were to go back to the Fall Major, obviously we're looking at a different roster, but at the Fall Major, if we had a similar situation there, I don't think we would have gotten the follow-up from that third man. Hold on a second, Realize trying to get a waterfall drop-down hit, but doesn't find it. Ooh, good possession to the back pass. Look at this movement from Senbei Strikers.
Great idea to keep possession, but they do get caught a little bit too far forward. Have to give ground to Mina here. As Mawson off the bar, and thankfully Sig in position. 0-1 pressing nicely. Can they keep possession is the problem. Trying to delay the inevitable. Zazonix getting in Tenhao's face, and Mawson trying to support, but squeezes by, and Senbei with a chance to regain some control.
Really early pressure there from Sig. You love to see it. Get in the face of 0-1 Esports, and that's going to be a much-needed factor if you are going to take down 0-1. They have much better mechanics. For Senbei Strikers, I don't think meeting them in the air and trying to outpace them is the move. Being more patient, certainly the better call in my eyes, but this one drops down in front of the net. We've gotten a back-and-forth game here between 0-1 and Senbei.
Mawson trying to construct something, will be denied by Sig, diving across his net, ripped on target with the bump, and Zazonix will collect a second one. Huge play for 0-1.
Oh my, an absolute beaut of a shot from the corner. Top down and in. That is as accurate as can be. 0-1 Esports. That was lovely to watch.
Gorgeous execution on all fronts, especially when they were trying to go for some misdirection, a lot of flip resets, trying to see if they could pull people out of position, and they're realizing Senbei just too well structured and had to get a little bit physical, throw a wrench in the gears. They find themselves out in front one more time.
Oh, the big 50 win. Senbei Strikers have been able to transition nicely. Then a massive clear down the other end is going to deplete all their energy. Still a good touch from Realize. He does pick up the corner boost. Even a demo from 0-1 Esports. There's some pieces here and there for Senbei Strikers, but 0-1 Esports are kind of taking them apart.
Unfortunately, Senbei kind of running into the issue where they don't quite have the boost on everybody to really have the support pushing upfield that they would like. Am's denied by Realize in the goal line. Senbei keeping this one within striking distance. As I say that, off the wall, no second chance for 0-1. They're both playing a little conservatively in the midfield line. That's a big win from Sig. Can he get a dump into the midfield somewhere? Crosses it out. That one's going to squeeze in. Realize connects with Sig. What a play.
With 29 seconds left, the hero Sigs does some work in the corner, dishes it out to Realize. Perfect position, perfect shot, game tied up.
Tight line from Realize. Wasn't sure if he was actually going to have the angle to shoot. Still able to find a way to get it around the post. That's a nice demo from Tenhao as well. Only 25 in the tank though. Not really able to stick with the plays. The Sonic's actually going for the bump, and missing on Realize means that Senbei has a chance to regain possession here. Maybe the last few chances in regulation. They can get control from Maasen, who's currently dodging through everyone, and that's a big save from Tenhao all over it. Realize has nothing in the tank, unfortunately, so he plays conservatively, gets a block. Maasen will throw it in the corner. Overtime in game one, so a couple people wondering how this one was going to play out. In general, feels pretty tight.
Yeah, absolutely clutch, though, from Tenhao. That save, excuse me, off the backboard was very much needed. Nobody wanted to get up early, and Tenhao managed to find the read, got the prediction in the front of the shot. For Senbei Strikers, that defense looks rock solid. Their offense is making use of every single player, always opting to go for that pass across the field to Chiefs.
And 0-1 doing a nice job, not quite able to beat the last man, thankfully. Just gonna wait with Tenhao back on the orange side of things. Rolling around, Senbei Strikers seeing if there's a way out of their own half and making sure they don't get in each other's way. Realize into the middle, Tenhao denied as well. Probably should have left that one for Sig. You'd have to think that it would have been a much stronger clear, but now they find themselves trapped in their own half.
A minute and 8 seconds into this OT. We have stabilized, I'd say, in the midfield. Senbei Strikers went into this OT with most of the momentum, especially off of that save. And now they're looking to mount something on offense, but it's a big clear down the other side. 0-1 Esports. Something in the corner. They haven't been connecting too many passes because they haven't needed to. It's the accuracy of their shots that's doing most of the dirty work on offense.
And really, it just feels like if Senbei break through this midfield line with more than a paltry amount of boost, they're going to have a lot of support to try and score it. But here comes Ams. He's got enough in the tank, over the top of everyone. 0-1 Esports going to come away with game one.
Wow, and this was a frustrating one. Tenhao needs to get a touch there. Realizes in a real sticky situation. Tenhao couldn't find any contact on the ball, and because of it, the pass was too flawless, and a much easier shot was then proposed. So for Realize, I say you just swallow that one, move on to the next game.
Overall, though, I mean, that's a great game. I was definitely doing some prep work this morning and kind of wondering how Senbei Strikers are going to handle 0-1, because I really liked the speed and aggression that they played with. A little bit reckless at times, but in general, I thought 0-1 was going to hold a lot more pressure. It does look like they did in the overall shot category with 11. Senbei only mustering 5, so playing out a little bit in that order. But in general, Senbei keeping this one pretty tight, forcing them to respect the push back the other way as we take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance replay.
It's just interesting because you bring up 0-1 Esports and that reckless aggression that I also noticed too watching their games yesterday. I don't think we got any of that. There wasn't too many risky positioning from 0-1 Esports. Nobody wanted to extend the pitch and go for a demo, maybe take out the goalkeeper, which was a routine play for them against Dignitas. We didn't see any of that. Maybe this is a passive approach. They just want to wait for mistakes to come out of Senbei Strikers, which is certainly happening. Think back to Tenhao. Couldn't get a touch, too slow in the air. They were able to capitalize. So only punishment goals for O1 Esports.
Yeah, and it worked out. In general, I think they definitely held the boost edge a little bit. Sometimes a little surprisingly far back, I would say. When they get that ball around that corner, you're thinking, okay, maybe a shot's going to come here, and they're off having to go grab boost. So maybe O1 willing to think about controlling a bit more of the map than necessarily just shoving down everything. Is actually off the wall. I thought that maybe it was going to go bar and in. Instead, O1 Esports going to have to look for a second chance. That one's off the bar as well. Dumped across, and Am's trying to react to it. Close call, could have been something, but a lot to ask with how quickly Ams was closing the distance on that.
For O1, there's two approaches here coming in as the team with, I would say, the advantage mechanically, as well as having the backing of most analysts here, besides T-Bates. You could come in here and be as aggressive as possible, go for every flip reset, and pretty much ego out Senbei Strikers, or you could do what they're doing now, and that's spread the field, be patient, and assume that mistakes are going to come out, which have been from Senbei. And that's definitely the one that makes O1 feel more confident and comfortable on the pitch, and as a result, we don't get many double commits, not too many mistakes. The defense is so split up and so spread out that nobody's willing to overcommit, and it's led to a difficult defense to get through, and on offense, you are threading the needle back and forth and finding something delicious in the midfield.
Absolutely. Very tasty from Zazonix. Very happy to take the dish that Boston served him up. Able to work through two people out of the corner. And when you get to that point, you get just kind of scratching your head as the guy on the goal line for Senbei, like, how did none of us make contact with that? And you just don't quite have the time to react. But O1 Esports picking up right where they left off at the end of game two. A lot of pretty solid pressure. And it's all on Senbei to work on that clear game, but no time to think about that. Ams rips one to the back post.
Senbei Strikers aren't expecting early shots. This is the third or fourth shot going in favor of O1 Esports that's taken from the corner. That last man back doesn't wait patiently in net. They're pushing out, willing to go for a challenge, but one quick firepower of a shot.
Whoa. Oh.
And it's just going to go past them. Here comes Maassen. Maybe he's going to find something himself, goes for the flick. Instead, it's a mind game. 50-50 against the second opponent. Doesn't get past them. Senbei Strikers, first bit of offense we have seen all game long.
And I think O1 Esports actually recovered beautifully on that kickoff, dumped into the middle for Maassen.
Oh my.
Senbei could have scored as they had the dead stalemate off the wall and right back into it. Hello, Sig collects the pass from Realize. Way to get themselves back into it.
And this was kind of a slap in the face to O1 Esports because Maassen in the midfield was just going for 2-3 mind games in a row, and Senbei Striker says, you really think that low of us, that we're not going to press you at this moment? They get aggressive and they find a goal.
Keep themselves in the mix. And O1 trying to regain map superiority. Bounce into the middle. Ams trying to give away to Zazonic. Should be a free ball for Tenhao. Rightly keeping it close with his little boost as he has. Unfortunately not able to battle Ams for possession either. And that's just a forced clear from Senbei. They need the space, the breathing room to make sure that they have some boost, but now it's all about, okay, you have to connect on that challenge right there. Yeah. You can't have your third man coming forward and be the one to actually make contact, because then your support is gone. Or can you? What do I know?
The classic from Senbei Strikers, third man, and it's because Realize went for a second challenge. He won the first one, followed up on the second challenge, and then was able to set up a nice and easy shot, all tied up, 2:52 to go, Achieve.
You can just be that good. That'll always get the job done.
I mean, if there's one third man you want taking the ball into the air on Senbei Strikers, it's going to be Realized. Then a pass into the midfield. What is happening? O1 Esports getting broken apart.
Can see it coming. Another beautiful kickoff for Senbei. This time they're able to avoid the bump in the midfield, and so Tenhao is uncontested as he takes it around the corner. Realizes saying, come on, bring it middle, I'm ready.
He's ready, fired up.
Delivered a big one. Senbei out in front. Now they force O1 to have to make plays. And now you start to wonder, okay, there's 2.5 minutes on the clock. O1 Esports, how aggressive are you willing to be, or do you want to wait and see if you get any more of those
I don't think you wait. You need that reckless aggression that they have been able to show several times in the past with every single series they've played. There's been one or two moments where, okay, everybody pushes up. Not getting that in this series, and maybe a lucky opportunity missed for O1 Esports, a pull pass into the midfield.
And Realize just trying to keep the ball on the other half. Sig there to help.
Big clear.
Nice big clear. Tenhao dodging a demo. That one would have connected. Who knew what the Senbei Strikers backline would have looked like?
Oh my.
As
Look at the dribbles.
Trying to change pace of play. Sig one-on-one, and Hams actually goes for a fake challenge and pulls back into the midfield to steal that corner boost. The boost lead definitely going to be favoring 0-1 here a little bit. Senbei, I believe, stole away a midfield 100 pad as well, so definitely making 0-1 immediately give back a little bit of that map presence that they could have had, and Senbei worked their way onto the blue half once more.
Oh, I love the control. Tenhao off the corner back into his own hands. He got a nice early shot on net. Didn't count, and then down the other way. Mawson able to find it by himself. No help from the teammates. That's okay.
Actually, an incredibly difficult ball to keep out for Tenhao.
Oh my.
I think he missed the boost in the corner. He cut it a little sharp, and so he has to play this challenge with nothing. And that means that, unfortunately, he doesn't have the ability to take his momentum across the net as strong as he likes, and it leads to him getting dunked out. And an equalizer for 0-1. Realize wants a worldie, and he just misses it.
Smart approach from 0-1 Esports. A battle of decision-making on the pitch, I'd say. 0-1 Esports still doesn't
what a fake!
Be too aggressive. They go for a second fake in a row. 0-1 Esports really love those mind games.
Oh, a little scary for Senbei Strikers. Goes right down into Realize. Unfortunately, he didn't catch it cleanly. Slows down the transition and forces Tenhao to make the save on the back wall, and 0-1 right now.
Oh my.
Seems that they've got a pretty good read on how Senbei likes to move the ball on their own half, and indeed they pick them apart. They get out in front of a pass and just slowly break them down.
What is that corner pass from Zazonix? The follow-up off the sidewall into the best spot possible in the corner. It
Straight back to
bounces
the middle.
out. You can't even read that if you're on the defensive side. Normally, it's just one touch into the corner, and that's it. You can go back, rotate in. No, there's even more work to be done for 0-1.
Realize and Sig, little miscommunication, and again, it slows down that transition on offense where they maybe could have had something. Tenhao trying to force it with 0 boost. If he had 12, I think he scores that.
Or a flip.
Or, yeah, anything that could have just helped him move forward. Realize trying to stick it on the blue half with only about 20 seconds remaining. And can Senbei muster a win? Dumped into the middle. A hopeful dive and misses from everybody. Thrown off the timing. Jump to Realize. Bar down and out. He just can't fit it under the crossbar. Close call, and 0-1. Gonna slow things down. You need that touch. Huge read indeed. 0-1. Trying to find a way to make this one touch the floor. Realize doing his best. A surgeon's touch as he moves up the pitch. Sig.
Buzzer beater.
Contested in the corner. This is actually a great bounce. Tenhao's all over it, but it's way too high for Realize. The idea was there. They knew what they were going for. It just came down to execution, and they overcooked it just a little.
I really like the speed on that pass across, but it's just the height of it made it impossible for Realize to even get up in time. Senbei Strikers held the lead for quite some time, but 0-1 Esports, through sheer determination in that beautiful corner play pass, we're able to take this one.
Just win a challenge, pop it perfectly with the spacing right into the middle. And Tenhao kind of sitting there scratching his head. I mean, like, what do you want me to do?
Right, and they all started in this corner. Look at Austin by himself, around 2 players. I think the 50-50s from that first man need to be better. Senbei Strikers do a good job of positioning a second player behind that first challenge, but it'd be much easier for that player to get a better follow-up if whoever's going in for the initial challenge can just get a touch on the ball. I mean, we've even seen Tenhao miss a chance off the backboard that led into some opportunities for 0-1. Simple moments like that need to be fixed for Senbei.
Yeah, brilliant. It's not the structure is good. The approach on your first and second man just needs to be tweaked a little bit. You'll be able to lay 0-1 Esports pushing and getting some of those extra opportunities, because again, this is the second game where they've had over 10 shots. They had 12 this time compared to 11 in game 1. And if you cut down just a few of those extra opportunities, you really start to equalize the amount of pressure that you're allowing for each team. And that's really the only tweak I think you're right that Senbei Strikers have to make.
But we're not going to lie to you, okay? Senbei Strikers, they get on offense. They are very dangerous.
Good ideas.
In love with the way they like to play offense. And with a player like Realize, you could try and just throw him forward and hope that he can 1v3 the offense. But everybody is getting involved. And while he has done it one time, it's a far better chance to use each other.
Much easier when you've got teammates as the shot denied on the goal line. Zazonix just kind of hoping that no one was there. He was essentially right. The follow-through coming a little bit late for Senbei Strikers. Sig caught in a bit of a weird spot here, but Mawson forcing Tenhao up, and Tenhao's kind of been the guy caught on the goal line more than once at this point. Not, I shouldn't say caught, but positioned back that far, as that's a big save from Sig. Realizes racing back, there's no pads anywhere. How do you find a save? And the misdirection would have worked if AMS was placed properly. Thankfully, nobody on Senbei Strikers can recover, and Zazonix gets a freebie.
And you feel for Senbei, as Realize doesn't get the touch. You need to find contact. I think he thought the ball would roll down and out instead of just hitting the backboard. A very awkward bounce for him, but a moment where he needs to find something for his teammates to recover.
Unforced error cost the goal. Sig on a dribble. Can you scoop it across? There's Realize, but too quick. Zazonix will smash the ball into the corner, and O1 Esports get away with another one. Nice fake challenge from Realize to try and keep the ball on the blue side, but he's actually a little too slow to stay with it. Nice bump from Sig to give an uncontested clear for Tenhao, but it's not headed anywhere. And Senbei Strikers can really capitalize, kind of at the mercy of the O1 Esports positioning at the moment.
I'm still happy, though, with that approach from Sig. Tenhao does get one in, capitalizing off of O1 Esports' inability to have a third man rotating back. Mawson was alone.
He caught it.
Not the best touch, and that last man back is too slow. A nice shot and a nice goal for Senbei.
I think Mawson's idea was to have that ball kind of land on his hood and take it onto a dribble. And I think he realized he overdrove it, so he just tries to pop it mid and just doesn't quite have the strength on it. But off the kickoff, Zazonix is trying to score. He just misses the dunk and just going to go for the back pass. I think he was maybe thinking about crossing it. No options for Mawson, because you're right, no boost. He just has to punch it on target and see if somebody makes a mistake, but not this time.
Senbei prioritizing their own corners. Very needed. In that first game, it seemed like they were getting starved out completely. Couldn't find even their own pads, even their own mini boost pads, but here that is not the story. A big clear across the field. AMS is there, looking for a pass off the ceiling, but intercepted quickly from Sig. A double commit on the field, but it doesn't matter because Realize is still going to push forward and start some offense.
Realize looking for a little help, unfortunately. Again, O1 Esports actually incredibly consistent, challenging off of their backboard. Pretty good at always making contact and not making sure anything gets into the middle on their own half for free. As Senbei looping back around Sig. I think he dove a little early. I think he got a little antsy and gave one up.
And how can you not panic in this situation? There's so much space on the field. You expect this player, Mawson, to keep boosting into it. But that slight hesitation, you saw him stop boosting on the shot, and that made the player, the goalkeeper, fly by him for a nice, easy setup.
Great adjustment on the approach for O1. Capitalize on a diving defender. And O1 Esports again, a lead in the middle of the game. Senbei tasked with finding a way back in. And in general, they've been pretty okay at getting opportunities, but O1 Esports is...
Sig!
Straight through it. Straight through it. That was tough.
Maybe feeling the nerves after that previous mistake on defense. This feels like a must-win game for Senbei Strikers. Otherwise, need to get a reverse sweep in a best-of-7, facing elimination in the wild card. Very difficult stuff from Senbei Strikers, but they have to recover. They have to respond to what O1 Esports are throwing at them. Just improve and pick up on the mechanics. Seems slightly off. A couple of whiffs here and there. Not the best touches. Hopefully things polish up.
The old cardinal sin. You dump the ball off your sidewall with nobody behind you, Sig. Trying to regain control. Everybody on Senbei Strikers starting to get a little flustered on defense. That structure breaking down a little bit as they realize that losing this one puts them in a statistically highly unlikely chance to find success.
Dire situation. And I think for Senbei Strikers, it's all about that transition game, finding ways to move out of your own defense, because the offense looks fantastic.
An idea!
What? Mawson, defying physics.
This is genius from Zazonix. I mean, he just has no boost, so just clip it back middle while everyone's thinking you're just going to either drive on by or hit it really hard. Just that soft floater up and in front while all of Senbei is trying to chase you across, and they all kind of have to stop, hit the brakes really hard somehow. And that was a massive goal to put this one almost out of reach, considering how much trouble Senbei Strikers have had finding consistent shots on target.
Oh, another follow-up. Zazonix mopping the floor with the defense of Senbei Strikers, and it comes down to mechanical issues. Sig not able to get a touch off the backboard, and this is why we talked about the first and second challenge. They need to make contact. 0-1 Esports, nothing is throwing them off. 0-1 have nothing that they need to react to. Every challenge is going their way. They're controlling it rather easily. The first touch always keeps possession on offense, and Senbei Strikers, they don't know how to throw that offense off.
Well, 45 seconds here in game 3. Almost certainly going to go the way of 0-1 if you believe in miracles, anything's possible.
I believe it, Chiefs.
I believe too. I definitely think I've seen stranger than 3 goals in 30 seconds. But that being said, a lot to ask for as that one gets cut across. Tenhao will clear it out.
Here we go.
Senbei would just like to spend a little bit of time on offense this game. Certainly feels like the most heavy pressure that they've been under the entire series. Would like to see the shot differential after this game is over.
Maybe one for the road, final 10 seconds. But with that being said, I do think we will head to match point for 0-1 Esports. It started out with a slower, patient approach.
Not 5, okay.
It's amping up now as they look for a 5th goal. Almost get it. A nice save, but 0-1 Esports, there's no stopping them with all that momentum in game number 4.
Great show from 0-1.
Yep.
I mean, this felt like their game this time. And what is that? 8-11 plus 6 is 17?
Yes, sir.
So definitely their most dominating game in terms of the shot department. Senbei still roughly getting around the same number, around 6, 7, 8, right around there for the past 3 games now. So I think we've boiled it down to the science, sort of. We found it. It's just that challenge game on defense, allowing too many extra chances for 0-1 to get back in position, reset the offense, find the extra chances on target. So small tweak here in the Mobile 1 high-performance replay, but that touch from Zazonix, I thought that was juicy.
Right, and 0-1 were abusing the backboard, and they know that they can win the first challenge easily. So now it's about, okay, what do you do with the follow-up? Whenever you keep possession, you beat out the first defender, what's the move? And like we just saw, Zazonix, on the defensive side, he knows how to dish that ball out to his teammates after he gets past the first defender. That's crucial for 0-1 Esports to have the next step already prepared. Can't say the same for Senbei Strikers. It's looked good on offense. The defense struggling, and I'd say mechanically they've drifted off too as the series has gone on. Started out really strong. We saw some powerful shots, big wins in the challenge department, but things trickled down.
It's been a tough road, but they're not done yet.
This is it.
This would not be the first best-of-7 reverse sweep on land.
No, sir.
It can happen. And Senbei Strikers definitely seem like they're capable of finding wins in this series. It's just a matter of being consistent enough to make it happen. And we see here on Utopia Dusk whether this will be the exit of the APAC North region from the World Championship here in Fort Worth, or if we get to see another 5 minutes.
Facing elimination, what changes can Senbei Strikers implement? Some aggression from Sig. Nice attempt at going for a demo. It does give possession to Realize, who does want to flip reset 50-50. I like the idea.
One of the flip reset right next to the floor. Just pop it straight towards the top of the net. That would have been
a one-up on Daniel's flip reset 50-50.
A really nice idea, but 0-1 Esports willing to attack it before it could bear any fruit. Mawson gonna get absolutely creamed on that challenge by Sig. Support from Zazonix in the midfield as Realize unable to beat AMS to the ball, and Senbei Strikers, that's exactly what they want. They want to see that breakup potential on the challenge game that 0-1 Esports are executing on, and Realize just gonna poke the ball off Sig's nose. Unfortunately, that actually ends up working against them as 0-1 position nicely in the midfield to keep possession.
Better challenges out of Realize. Good patience too from Tenhao. Mawson is forced to crash the net, doesn't get a follow-up touch. And these corner plays have been going in favor of Senbei. A big pinch down the other side.
And here's where it matters.
Yep.
Here's where you need to see the challenges come through for Senbei. Once you break through onto that blue half, can you keep it there?
He's got the boost as well.
Oh, that bump, so tough to handle. Can he get back to it? Really nice recovery from Sig to keep it in the corner. Tenhao dodging a demo, but Zazonix, great understanding of where he needs to be on defense to support his teammate.
DBH watching this game, shaking. And also freaking out after he sees Mawson go off the backboard. It's a free double tap setup.
Turtle, you said they need to get a hand up. They got one up, but still no contact. They find the open backboard and a nice double tap for Mawson to again give him the lead at the start of the game. Is a chance. Still well within reach. One goal is not too hard to find at any given point. Well, that's not true. It's actually incredibly difficult to find at this point, but it's possible.
Here we go. Backboard looking clear. Oh, this is painful. A free one given to 0-1 Esports. You know he had to jump. He was trying to stop AMS. We just saw a double tap go in. Senbei are aware they're going to hit those, and you force yourself to jump up.
Put that in the category of absolutely goated own goals for Dallas-Fort Worth. I guess we haven't had the reverse sweep on land yet.
Right.
I guess I get it all confused in my head. But I still don't want to count them out.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we have seen some rough showings on defense, oftentimes missing mechanically, but Senbei, there are so many highlight opportunities and moments for them where they truly show their potential. And with plenty of time left on match point, you never know what can happen. A fake from Mawson doesn't work out, as Realize crashes the net and finds a save.
Nice clear from Sig. He's definitely got Tenhao lined up, but no boost again. That's been another thing that's been a problem. They have a good time and position to move forward as Mawson just gives a fake, and I think he probably could have scored it if he would have just shot it initially, but for whatever reason decided to try and get a defender to go right on by and allowed his teammates to come through and make the stop, as that one will be poked on target. Clinical is the right word.
Absolutely clinical. Mawson, look at this follow-up. He gets past Tenhao. Tenhao jumping off the aerial. It doesn't even process to him that he can get a follow-up, that he has enough boost, and that layered approach on offense still benefiting 0-1.
Did you see Mawson's approach on that shot?
No, I didn't.
He didn't hit that with his nose. He hit that with a tail. Maybe not clinical.
The booty blast. Classic. But this is elimination territory. Senbei Strikers might be going home if they can't pick anything up. 3 goals just to tie it. Okay. We know Realize can step up. We know everybody else can follow through with those passes into the midfield. Will it happen?
Sig trying to find some type of boost, but at least getting physical and trying to throw them off. That way, Realize has a chance to try and stay with it, but Zizonics, really nice job poking that one through. Mawson trying to find a demo in the midfield and just put the defense of Senbei Strikers in an awkward spot where they have to come and approach the ball. As everyone kind of figuring out how they want to keep going. Realize trying to take his time, has to dodge the demo.
Almost.
Do they have the boost this time as they go up the field? Realize on 0, but Sig also running out, but they're trying to get physical, and that one's just going to poke back over Tenhao's shoulder. They're going to have to buy a lot of time here.
You can see the desperation from Realize on that play, looking for a bump, trying to stay aggressive. This is the final minute for Senbei Strikers. They've worked so hard to get here, to make it to the World Championship, trying to stay alive. They need a little bit of magic.
Zizonics going to be denied on the backboard. I'd like to see the offense start right about now, but 0-1 Esports unwilling to give up any ground, and now you can see everyone on Senbei jumping at everything they can think of to try and find some type of gap to poke the ball through.
Winning challenges, but still giving right back to 0-1, and then a bump on the goalkeeper. That could have been it, the final goal, but now we're in the final 6 seconds, and it looks like that's going to do it to Chiefs.
As Mawson collects the ball, and yep, let's tee it up. Realize it's actually there for it. Don't think this one quite has the legs to get there, but AMS flip reset towards the wall.
That's it.
Oh, that is definitely it. 0-1 Esports will close it out in a sweep. In general, the pressure, the challenge game, just a tier above, it seemed, in this series. Senbei Strikers held to only 1 shot on target in this one, and another 8 on the board for 0-1 Esports. But what a show it was from them. Clinical in terms of the challenge game, and unfortunately for the Senbei Strikers, that is the end of the road.
And of course, so much love here